Hello! Happy Friday, everybody! It's another Game Informer live stream, and we are here with one of the biggest games of the year, Bayonetta 3, and you have two of the biggest editors of the year. Can we be called that, Blake? Blake Hester down there, Marcus Stewart
What's up?
here. That's me. How you doing?
Marcus, I am tired. I'm gonna go get my coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay, off to a good start. He's tired. Well, everybody, this is Bayonetta 3. This is the big day. We've all waited years for this very moment. Some of you may have already started playing it or plan to play it. But yeah, we're going to be...
I'm back.
Hello again. We're going to be playing through the first few chapters. You know, we got a 2-hour block to stream, so I guess however far we get is how far we're going to go. So, first off, before we begin, Blake and I... we beat the game already. Actually, I beat it late last night. Blake, you reviewed it for us. I wrote the cover story, of course, so we are I think we're the only two people in the office that have maybe even played Bayonetta, right? I don't think anyone else has played it yet.
And we are, by extension, the world's foremost experts on Bayonetta 3.
Yes, we know all of the Bayonettas. We know the secrets. We are not going to spoil anything in the stream, which brings me to my next point that so we are playing with my finished save file because you can't start a new save, apparently. It wouldn't let me start a new save without erasing my old save. So the alternative is that I'm just going to play through, you know, the beginning of the game through chapter select. So with that in mind, if you see anything like any weapons I'm using, I'm trying to use most of mainly the basic stuff that you don't get till like way later, but just in case I have to enter a menu for anything and you go, wow, that guy has a lot of demons and weapons, what are those? And you're sensitive to that, then, you know, in terms of spoilers, maybe keep that in mind. But I would imagine that if you're that sensitive to seeing anything in this game, you probably aren't watching this. At least that's what I would think. So yeah, but yeah, we won't be discussing plot spoilers. We won't be discussing anything sensitive like that. We're just going to talk about how much we enjoy the game and maybe some things that we don't like as much. So, with that said,
Cadbury.
What was that?
Are you there? Cadbury's asking how long to beat it. I think it took me about 14 hours, but I did not do much side stuff at all, and I think this game could be significantly longer if you committed yourself to that.
Yes, so I did a lot of side stuff because I wasn't on the clock to review it. So it took me 24 hours, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
24
okay.
pushing 25, and that's me being pretty thorough.
I have a friend who's doing guides for this game, maybe for Polygon, I'm not sure. And I think it took them double the amount of time to beat the game than it did me, just because they had to literally like 100% it for the guides. Like, this game is shockingly big if you really want to dig into it.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into. And do we sound okay, first and foremost, chat?
Oh, you guys chat, not me.
I mean,
I'm just the guy you're chatting with.
Yeah, I mean, you sound nice. I mean, you have a nice voice, Blake, that's what I'm saying.
Thank you. People, and sometimes in our comments, make fun of my vocal fry, which I feel like I'm getting a bit today because I was filming a thing with Leo that required me to scream a lot last night. Did a little number on my voice. Chinglini saying, yes, we can hear you. A-okay.
Look at the Bayonetta happening there.
Look at that.
Right,
there she is.
This is the very beginning of the game.
When I was a kid,
now, folks watching at home, I want everyone to be very respectful. While we're watching, please remember that Bayonetta is my wife. So I want everyone to keep that in mind and be respectful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Apparently we're dropping frames on cams. According to a ghost named Alex Stanek.
You make the strange feeling.
You know what? This man, Alex Stanek, he quits Game Informer, leaves us in the dust, and yet has the gall to tweet us and text us when we have technical issues during our stream. Alex, maybe we wouldn't have these problems if you didn't abandon us to work at the freaking Gundam factory.
That's a good point. I think it's because of him leaving.
It might, I mean,
I
might be.
always believed there was only one truth.
It's the moon.
But
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
what if
Yeah, you
some
ever
other
look
version of me
up, chat?
on a distant
Let me know
world
about that.
Was searching for all possibilities.
Okay. Oh, we got some frame chop. I can see.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I definitely see that. I don't know.
Thankfully, this is
What
one of the
we
games that let you pause cutscenes.
pause
Da-da-da-da-da.
screen looks great. I don't see any drop frames on that pause screen.
It's one of the best
Cad
pause screens of the year, I hear.
Cadbury saying how difficult was it? I played on standard difficulty. It was definitely challenging. I mean, platinum games are. I think Viola's chapters are a bit more difficult than Bayonetta's chapters, but also it's like definitely a drop in challenge compared to say like Bayonetta 1, which can be the kick in the freaking butt sometimes. Feels closer to Bayonetta 2, which I maintain is a much easier game than the first one.
Yeah, I would say I don't know if it's because I mean I am good at these games. I'm not saying this to brag, but I also replayed the first two recently because I wrote the cover story. But I probably had the easiest time with this game. I also played on standard, which I do for basically 99% of games. But I rarely died, and I almost never used items ever.
Same.
Yeah, like and not even out of like a pride thing. It was just like, oh, I just don't need to. I actually never made anything either. Like the first games, y'all would always mix up and concoct the like lollipops and stuff. I didn't do any of that this time.
I had to frequently with Viola because I was very bad at her in the opening couple levels I played as her. I had to concoct some lollipops. Duke saying, hello, Marcus and Blake. I jumped in to say hi. I'm not watching because I don't want spoilers. Have a nice time. Thank you, Duke. Studnick76 saying, Blake's wanting to catch these hands in public, I see. Alex, I wish you would. I would bring my step stool so I could reach that face and smack the stupid off you. The joke there is he's really tall. He's a tall man, a handsome man, to be clear, but also very tall. Hi, Alex. I love you.
We love
sorry,
you, Alex.
I love you. I'm sorry I said something very mean.
Exactly. Sorry, Barry.
Please don't be mad at me.
Troubleshooting to make sure the.
It's okay. I got color commentary for him.
That is true. I'm actually, if you want, I may stop streaming to you, Blake. Let's see if that.
That's
fixes.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just watch chat. All right, here we go. Hello? Are we back? We should be. World?
Oh, I forgot to check. Yeah, we're back.
We are. You can see our beautiful faces, our smiling, beautiful faces. We're good?
All right. We're here.
Cool. Alrighty. Did some bit of wizardry behind the scenes.
That's right.
So we'll see what difference it makes. And Mr. Alex Van Aken chip in with some troubleshooting. So let's see what happens. It's still pausing the cutscene that it was, so nothing's changed.
My
with the game.
God, Dan Snacks just put, based on the character count alone, what appears to be the Iliad and Odyssey in our chat right now.
Oh yeah, is it about food?
It's an entire order from. I'll just read it. I'll just read the entire thing. Hi, I'll take the loaded cute combo. That's pickles, cucumber, sour cream, 4 types of roasted meats, hot mustard, sizzle dipping sauce, which is a jalapeno-based aioli served on the sandwich and on the side for beer batter steak fries. Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, like baked tater splashed with fresh cracked black pepper and a side order of sourdough kickers, chock full of spicy chicken and ranch-infused mozzarella sticks. What's up, Dan?
Hi,
Shouts
Dan.
out. Good
Just
to see
subscribed, by the way.
Thank you, Dan. Holly Spicewolf gifted a tier 1 sub to Dan Snacks. They've
Oh,
given
okay. So
300
he did nothing. Thank
Dan,
you, Holly.
Dan, how goes it in your world? Speaking of your world, I recently finished a new Gundam today. The Master Grade Shenlong from the Eternal Waltz line. Endless Waltz line. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good kit. One of the better ones I think I've built recently.
By the way, Chad, we dropped the frame output to 30 instead of 60 to help with bandwidth. So,
Holly, thank you. I don't read menus professionally. I do, however, read professionally. I have to read a lot in my job, so I guess that helped. But thank you nonetheless.
yeah. For those wondering, the game does run at 60 on Switch, which is nice. The Switch version, I almost said the Switch version as if there's other versions of this game. Like the
You
game,
could emulate it.
yeah, officially the Switch version, yes. Like it definitely shows its age and like the environments. I think I had a lot of like pop in and stuff, but with the actual action, it runs very well, which is really where it matters,
Was a
at least
nightmare
to me.
that had come
Yeah.
to crush
I think the
all
cutscenes in this game are very well done.
Yeah,
I
this
like them a
Doctor
lot.
Strange Mirror first thing that's going on here.
Yeah, those are a bunch of words I for sure know.
Yeah, you're a big Doctor Strange fan. You can't shut up.
Biggest Doctor Strange fan you've ever met.
You wear a replica Eye of Agamotto around your neck at all times.
Yeah, I love the Eye of Angerboda.
Say that again.
No, I can't. Snake Eater, they did. It was the Switch OLED. It's upgraded in some ways, just not the ways you want.
Yeah. So, Chad, I was actually up. I beat this game because I've had it for about a week. Like, you had a little bit longer because you were reviewing it. But
Yeah.
I finished it at probably around 2. Like, by the time the game was done, like I was allowed to leave, it was probably like 2 a.m. this morning. So I say that because I might be a little tired, and not even just because of sleep, because I slept well. It's just that the final stretch of this game is maybe some of the most exhausting I've played in a video game. In a good way. There's some crazy fun stuff, but I felt my fingers playing just now, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm still recovering from that final stretch.
I think 3/4 of the game is the ending. Like, it is obscene how long it goes on.
It is the Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King of Bayonetta. I'm like, is this over yet? Like, no, I guess not.
Even when you think it's over,
Like, this is me.
they
right,
pull you right back in.
like, this week in Bayonetta is my fingers right now.
Trader's calling me out, Marcus. I'll be right back.
You gonna go to his house? Or? So, fun fact, I went to college for game design, and for one of my first, like, 3D modeling projects, they're like, just model anything, like anything from a game. And I made a model of Scarborough's Fair, which is Bayonetta's pistol, from the first game specifically. I did a replica of that. That came out pretty good. I had to hunt down the textures and everything. But every time I see that game, it always makes me, or every time I look at that gun, it always reminds me of college.
Okay, so Crater pointed out that I said I finished a new Gundam and then I didn't show it on stream. So here we go. Here's the newest one I've completed. The Master Grade Shenlong, of course, from the Endless Waltz line. Very good line of Master Grades, as far as I'm concerned, except for the Epion kit. I don't like that one at all. But I've built the Shenlong, the Heavy Arms, and the Sandrock. Heavy Arms rules. Shenlong is giving it a run for its money, though. This kit is awesome. Still got some panel lines I need to clean up. I'll do that later. But got the backpack built up right before the stream. Took a little 30-minute break from work. There's one more accessory for his arm I'm going to build, but I don't know if I'm going to include that in the finished kit. I kind of like keeping it a little more series accurate as opposed to the OVA accuracy, so I might just keep him like this. But this is the new one. Thank you, Crater, for holding me accountable.
Can you rebuild Bayonetta? Because she just, like, shattered into, like, a gazillion pieces.
Dude, I wish there was a Bayonetta model kit. There's a lot
There
of,
isn't
like...
one? There has to be.
I mean, there might be that I
gotta
just
be.
haven't seen. But, like, Kotobukiya does so many, like, cool anime figure kits. And I always, like, want to buy one, but my girlfriend, she goes to the hobby store with me, and I'll be, like, looking at an anime girl, and she'll be like, no, you can't, no. You buy a Gundam, you cannot have this in your apartment. I'm like, all right, honey. But if it was Bayonetta, that would override. My girlfriend would be like, oh, your wife? We gotta build her. And I'd be like, that's right.
A Bayonetta model kit should be... It comes with, like, thousands upon thousands of strands of hair that you have to individually place on her naked body to form her costume.
Okay, so sorry. I'm looking it up. Okay, so there is a 1/10. This appears to not be official, but a 1/10 3D printed, unpainted, unassembled resin model kit which, God, it looks gorgeous. It's amazing. But then there's an article here from 2010 from Engadget. Build a Bayonetta model is for filthy rich hobbyists only. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, Engadget, you're a great site, but let's talk about the autoplay ads. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is horrible. That's a horrible user experience. Jesus. Okay, it takes a certain kind of person. To be fair, Engadget, wonderful site. It takes and the writers there not responsible for the ads, but that's awful. It takes a certain kind of person to assemble and paint a 67-piece 1/4 scale model of Bayonetta. It takes another kind of person altogether to spend 48,300 yen for the privilege to do so. And of course, the conversion rate for that in 2010 would have been $575. So these days it would be $327.69. The yen is way down, to be clear. There you go.
There you have it.
Limited edition was pretty slim. Best chances at the Hobby Round 4 event in Tokyo on October 10th. Of course, this article is from 12 years ago. So now we know there has been a Bayonetta model kit.
And that was the only one they never made anymore. There she is. Or I mean, I guess the one we're playing as.
Crater. I can have Goku, though. I did just build a new Goku. It's pretty cool.
Which Goku? Like regular Goku or like Super Saiyan Goku?
Yeah, regular Goku in Bandai's Figurize line. It's one of the new super opposable ones. It's really neat. It's actually... There he is. It's right there. Right there.
Yeah, I saw Enzo there, who's basically like Goku. They're pretty similar.
Enzo, what was the weather forecast for today?
What's the matter? Your glass is dirty? Not a cloud in the sky.
What do you think of Enzo, Blake? Do you like
Enzo?
Enzo?
Yeah.
Do you have any strong opinions about Enzo?
I like him. He reminds me of, oh God, what's his name?
I
From
mean, it's clearly Joe
Goodfellas.
Pesci.
Yeah, he reminds me of Joe Pesci, and I love Joe
100
Pesci.
I mean, that's literally all he is, just with a different...
I love Joe Pesci, so I love Enzo. Enzo's great.
Which means
I love all the characters in this game except Viola.
What do you think
Write
of
it
those,
down.
do you like those baguettes?
Love me a good baguette. Baguette. That's how we say it in Kentucky. Baguette.
Bag it. Like
Baguette.
Bag it. Like if you went to the grocery store,
Yeah.
and you're like, would you like a bag?
Oh, I
and you're
guess-
like, bag it.
Don't forget.
Maybe that's more like Minnesota. That sounds pretty northern. Baguette. Yeah.
Because I said anything
Now,
doesn't mean
Bag it.
let's be off.
Bag it for me, please.
now where do you
Snake Eater 1964 asking a question that only you'll be able to answer here, Marcus. Speaking of DBZ, is Viola supposed to be Trunks in this game?
Pretty much. Like that's like I thought that too as I was playing. Of like, oh, she's literally just Trunks. Not as cool as Trunks, but like serves the same
Less hard
purpose, the same sort of archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah, future traveler. Well, it's less time travel and more multiversal traveler, but like coming in, being like, "Yo, bad stuff is coming. We need to stop it." That's yeah. Her jacket's not as cool as Trunks's. I like Trunks's sort of.
I don't think we're talking enough about Bayonetta's pink sweater
everybody's getting screwed?
as a society.
It's weird because
It's-
it's a surprisingly normal outfit for her.
It's so good. It's so good. I hope there's an unlockable costume in this game that is just her outfit from the first cutscene.
It's weird to just see her in normal clothes. Because she's worn normal clothing, but even then it's pretty... Like Bayonetta 2, she had that dress that is still pretty extravagant. But
Yeah.
this is like, oh no, that's just the regular sweater thing.
And it's awesome. It's so good. I love it. I love it. Kristen is saying sweater is V cute. I agree.
You think the sweater is hair, or did she buy that?
Hey,
Oh, I don't know.
Don't tell me you
I don't-
date wrong.
I think only her witch outfits are her hair. So when she's going Bayo mode, she's not in Bayo mode right now. She's about to go Bayo mode.
You wait right here.
So,
Listen
I mean,
up.
like, if you could just make, why even buy clothes if you can just make any outfit you want with your hair?
Don't judge her. She
I mean,
likes to go shop.
I
She
mean,
likes to go shopping.
Yeah, she does, and she's got money from, I guess, killing angels. I guess that's like she doesn't have a
Oh.
job, but, yeah.
I mean, she has the job of keeping the world safe,
I don't
lest we forget.
think that's like her job. I think she just kills
Lest
angels
we-
for Inferno. I don't know if that really actively benefits humanity.
I feel like
mean,
you're
Jean-
being a little insensitive
Jean is
to
an actual.
her labor.
Remember, Jean has an actual superhero alter ego. Like, she actually does do like good stuff on her downtime, and she's a teacher. Like, she's Peter Parker. And Peter Parker was a teacher for a while.
Marcus, did you forget the part in all of the Bayonetta games where Bayonetta saves the world? That is
Oh no,
clearly
she
her
saves the
job.
world, but that's like it's only because something happened that she has to like get involved with. It's not like if nothing is going down that involves her directly. Like if she sees a bank robbery, I mean, I'm not saying she won't stop it, but I don't think she's like going out of her way to like listen to the police radio and just see like, oh, what crimes are going down today.
Okay, but like,
But if she
you know
sees
those-
it, she'll stop it.
you know those dudes that like their job is changing the light bulbs on the top of like those really tall telephone towers? They only work like once every 3 months or something.
That's the only thing they
Bayonetta's.
do.
Yeah, Bayonetta literally saves the world. She does not have to work a 9 to 5. We pay her for saving the world, whether that's once every decade or once every month.
It's a
That's her
city-
job.
It's like a city service.
Yeah,
Like,
I
our
feel
tax,
like you're.
our tax money is going to Bayonetta.
I feel like you're trying to diminish what she does for the world,
I'm
for
just saying,
society
she's-
to function.
Like I would say
This kid looks kind
even Dante is more of a, even though you have to pay him to do like to kill things, but like his whole business is like, yeah, I'll save people from demons if you give me money. Bayonetta doesn't even really do that necessarily.
Hey guys, this has been a great stream, but Marcus is slandering my wife, so we're gonna call it right here. That's it. Bye.
Also, how is Enzo's like? How are his legs not broken from having like a grown woman fall on his lap from like how high?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, what a klutz, that guy.
I'll tell you what's not broken on Enzo, clearly, by this cutscene. Jesus.
Huh. I like looking at all the regular people in Bayonetta games. Just like the ones that aren't fully detailed but have just enough detail to be considered human. Like that.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of, they're like maybe a couple of steps above the NPCs in Sonic 06. That do the like, with their hands.
got loose again.
That's so rude. Some poor animator
I mean-
animated this cutscene for like 3 years of their life, and he said, "Oh, looks like Sonic 06." Cannot believe you would say that.
That's the one thing you took away from all that. Hey, Viola,
What was the incredibly rude thing you said about the animation? Yeah.
I mean, Enzo and Viola, I mean, the people that matter look fine. I'm just saying everyone else that you see for a second. And that's why they don't look great, because you see them for a second. But, you know.
Marcus over here like, what, y'all have the intern do these guys?
I mean, they're like, hey, are we going to make the cool tidal wave look realistic, or are we going to spend 5 hours
fair.
working on
Fair.
show number 3?
Fair.
Oh, look at Rhoda in this cool penguin hat.
Oh, dude, I think half this stream is just gonna be this one cutscene, and it's awesome.
Yeah, this game has long cutscenes. But I mean, it's cool. It's like cool things happen. Like this. Look at this. Superman.
Yeah, that's an important distinction, Marcus. Lots of games have long cutscenes, but few games have cool things that happen during them. And Bayonetta is a game full of cool things constantly happening.
You just punch that thing in the mouth as a tidal wave. Just like, I mean, this is basically what's going to happen in New York City with global warming, right? This isn't even really out of the realm of possibility.
As Rancid once said, let California fall in the ocean. I don't believe that. I'm extremely worried about climate change.
So I feel like,
to be clear.
like
I was-
California, it's not gonna sink. It's just gonna break away because of earthquakes. It's not like it's gonna, like, it's just gonna float away, not necessarily sink into the ocean.
I was reading, I mean, one of these stories comes out like once a week now, where scientists are like, hey, UN, like, we're like a micrometer from climate disaster.
Yeah, like,
And I was reading,
here's a new way that we're totally boned.
yeah, I was reading a new one of those last night right before bed, and gotta be honest, was not great for
Yeah,
my
that
sleep.
sounds like not the best thing to read before bed.
I know.
Like I need something to set my mind at ease as I begin to wind down. This looks like a good thing to read.
And you know what? I did my part. I did not sleep with my air conditioner on last night.
It was that upsetting. You're like, I'm gonna turn this off.
I say as someone who has it running
Well, I mean,
currently.
isn't it already cool? It's not cool right now. Do you need air conditioning?
Okay, so here's the thing about my apartment. This room specifically. Right there on the border of the walls, you can see at the bottom, is a furnace. That furnace is technically shut off, but it doesn't close all the way. And we don't have individual, like, control of furnaces. So when it's on, it's still letting some air out, but it's like a Minneapolis grade furnace. So it's like putting out extremely hot air. So my apartment gets extremely hot constantly because of that. And it's just like the tiniest little amount coming out. But because it's like one of those furnaces that has to protect you from like negative 20-degree weather,
Right.
it is constantly boiling. In this room specifically, I cannot get this room to cool down. I'll have my windows open, my AC on, and it's still just like only barely will get to comfortable. Bad. Bedroom is a lot better, probably because it's like smaller and more closed off, less open, but yeah.
Okay. A lot
There you
going
go.
on here. A lot of break dancing and goofy stuff. People exploding into like flubber.
This first level messed me up at first because when you start playing right here, like Bayonetta does not feel very good, and I was like, uh-oh, and then something happens, and I'm like, oh, here we go. It was very clever. I liked how it happened. I did not put together what you can visibly see in this cutscene of why it would not play very good.
So this weapon I'm using is the spider weapon that you get pretty early on, and it's one
No,
that
you're-
has been.
Oh,
We
that's
talked-
right. You.
Yeah, this is one that we've talked about in preview covers, so you don't start with this.
I forgot about that. Yeah, normally you would be using something different right now, but Marcus is using
Yeah.
a new game plus weapon, if you would.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of the 3 that we did get to talk about pre-release.
This
and
is-
it's my favorite weapon in the game, which says a lot, 'cause this
Yeah.
game has a lot of very cool weapons, but
Yeah.
this one has we talked about on the GI show, where it reminds me of like old school God of War a bit, like using the Blades of Chaos, like, it's, oh, we're still fighting, by the way, this is,
Can we super replay the God of War trilogy?
I've never replayed them, but none of them did super replay them.
Dude, God of War 1 is so good.
Man, I wonder how that holds up. I have not played God
It-
of War 1 since
Oh.
2005 when it came out.
Oh, I've played it within the last few years. It
They-
holds up very well.
Yeah, because they HD'd them, right? They had the collection,
Yeah, I have the PS3 collection here.
the
Yeah,
first 2.
I have the one with the first 3
Oh.
and I think the 2 PSP games.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, there's a big collection.
More cheap toys.
Never liked God of War 3. Never came around on it.
I'm amazed by that, because to me, God of
Yeah.
War 3 is the best of the classic games. I think that game
Yeah.
just hits a crescendo with that particular style of God of War.
Yeah.
What
I,
what didn't you like about it?
I don't remember. I tried playing it a year or 2 ago and just like wasn't super into it. I do like Ascension quite a bit though. I think
See,
Ascension's cool.
I think I don't think Ascension's bad. I just it's the worst of the
Bro,
The old ones.
Remember when you're fighting on the building, and the boss is like moving the building you're standing in around? That was crazy.
Oh no, there's some cool things that happen, but I think at that point too, the fatigue with that style had started to hit. Like that's why
No.
the 2018 game, I was like, okay, yeah, I think.
No.
Like I remember finishing Ascension as like, I don't know if they can do this again.
No,
Now that
I
there's been-
disagree.
There's been 5 of these.
Everyone always says this, and I think they could have put out 20 of those games, and I never would have gotten sick of it. Like, they could put out a Bayonetta every 4 months, and I'd be like, all right, cool, I'm into it. Like, at most times in my life, I'm just replaying some character action game. Like, I just don't get sick of that combat.
Did you ever play that weird multiplayer mode that was in Ascension that no one talks about?
No.
You know what I'm talking about though?
No,
It
I
was
have
like
no clue.
It was like I think it was co-op or something, but I think you teamed up to fight like a giant monster or something. But that was like the other big thing with Ascension was like we're doing co-op for the first time and like I guess nobody played it, or either maybe it wasn't that good because no one really talks about it.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's wild.
Yeah, let us know if anyone remembers that.
We could talk about the first 5 hours of new God of War. Have you played any of it?
Yeah, you finished it, Blake.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those dumb things where it's like that's true, but I don't know if we're allowed to say that. But we've already
we
said
can
it, so
people have already put out there that they have the game. Like that's been
Yeah.
a week. That's been known for a week that code is out there and people are playing.
Yeah.
People are reviewing it, which
Yeah.
they did allow. So
yeah, I have beat it.
we just
but,
can't
like,
talk about anything beyond the first 5 hours.
Yeah, but
And
let
not
me
that we're gonna
say-
spoil we're not gonna spoil the first 5 hours anyway. We just can't. If we're gonna talk about anything, it has to be within those first 5 hours, which I have not played beyond. I've only played because I was busy playing this and trying to get this game done, and I also had Mario Rabbids that I was reviewing. That I've only played the first like 2.5 hours of God of War.
I think the first hour or two of God of War Ragnarok are so strong.
It-
I think like
It starts
think
so
that-
good.
I think after that, like the immediate hour or two after that, it drops a little bit. But like that opening is really good.
Yeah, keeping up the long-standing tradition of God of War games having incredible openings.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if any other
Yeah.
game series, honestly, besides maybe Bayonetta, honestly. Bayonetta, all 3 of those games have very hot starts.
Yeah.
But the consistency of like, oh, you're fighting a God of War game, that first like hour is probably going to be amazing.
I mean, honestly, like Platinum games in general have really strong openings. Like the Wonderful 101 opening is really cool on that train that's blowing up.
Okay,
Uh,
I haven't played that game since launch, so I don't remember.
Nier Automata has like this huge extended opening that like runs through basically like all the gameplay changes that you're gonna play through. It's really cool. Metal Gear Rising's opening's Metal Gear Rising's opening rules because you literally chop Metal Gear Rex in half. You chop the strongest thing in the Metal Gear canon completely in half within the first 25 minutes of that game. So that's awesome. Platinum games all open really great. Chat, let me know your favorite game openings that we haven't brought up. That
trying
would
to
be
think of a
interesting
good-
to think about.
What's a good non-action game open? Because action games can be easy because it's like, oh, you just get to the action. I'm trying to think of a great. Actually, The Last of Us. That prologue,
Yeah.
The Last of Us, makes me tear up every time I see it.
I think that one's fine for the time. When I revisited it, granted I did a whole big piece on it.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you
think
played
it
the remake.
landed. I don't think it landed for me as hard going back to it as it did originally.
This
I
is
think
the
it
remake
kind of
one,
like.
right? The remake.
Well, I mean, but it's the exact same. Nothing's different other than it looks better.
Okay.
But like that one, I do remember loving. It just, for whatever reason, didn't hold as much weight when I played it the second time.
Okay. I was wondering if it didn't hold much weight because it was remade, even though it's the exact same thing. I mean, it touches upon a point that we have a really great Last of Us piece in our upcoming issue that
Yeah.
kind of goes into it. I was wondering if it was kind of related to that sentiment.
Maybe, yeah. We have a piece that Reed McCarter, founder of Bullet Points Monthly, longtime freelancer for like AB Club, Kill Screen, I think Polygon, elsewhere, wrote for us about the way visuals impact storytelling, specifically in regards to The Last of Us Part 1, that I think is really great and hope everyone reads it. Let's see here. Animal Crossing opening will always stick with me, Holly Spice Wolf says.
The,
It's awesome.
like the first Animal Crossing?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
X04812 saying Kingdom Hearts 2 was amazing in the day. It's the opening of Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's the oh god, because it starts with the Roxas stuff, but I'm trying to remember what the actual like opening before it settles down into the Roxas stuff.
I can't remember.
Because I remember there was the cool fight with Axel, but that's like after the Roxas stuff ends, right? It's like at the end of that before you get the Sora. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 2 in a long time.
I am certain X04812 is typing it out right now, which I appreciate. Please do. Crater saying meme doll hell, but the Skyrim opening is still good. Sure.
I mean, yeah, that dragon thing, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Who Can 6 saying Mario Galaxy, that music. Let me add one to the mix. Maybe a surprising one, Marcus. The opening 2 to 3 hours of Mafia 3 are in a league of their own. That game opens so incredibly strong. I think that game overall is pretty good, but the opening few hours are like untouchable. So good. It's told through like a fake documentary. So you're playing these kind of linear-esque levels. Yeah. So like the opening is more linear. So you're playing kind of these like linear levels, some set piece stuff, and it's constantly flashing to like modern day interviews. It's so good, and the game does that throughout. But once it like opens up and you're doing the open world stuff, it gets pretty rote. But like, man, that beginning is so good. Are they making another Mafia game?
Yeah, they announced it like a month ago that the new one is in. They've started development on it, so it's going to be a long. They already said it's going to be years before we actually see what it is. But yeah,
dude, the Mafia series is so good, so good.
I've only
Snake
played
Eater
2. I beat 2 and I played it's like the first few hours of 3, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like 2 a lot.
Snake Eater 1964 saying the opening for Metal Gear Rising. Yeah. We brought that one up.
I mean, what about the opening to Metal Gear Solid 2? Like when you're on the bridge and you do the jump, that's pretty badass. Like
Red Dead Redemption.
It's slow. Wait, Red Dead? Which one?
Too cute for LA saying Red Dead 2 had a solid opening. I agree. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
If we don't count the rest of the snow stuff, because I thought that dragged on me a little too long.
I liked it. I
liked it, but yeah, I mean, that was kind of the big criticism where like that snow stuff maybe goes on longer than you would like before the game really becomes the game.
I don't know if that was the big criticism.
Oh wait,
of Red Dead 2.
I forgot that I can end this tutorial anytime. I thought it was. What about the opening to Resident Evil? Staying in that forest, run into the mansion when the team gets attacked. Like as a kid, I remember you're like, oh my god, what's out there? Like the dogs show up and stuff.
Sure, that's cool. Silent Hill 2, very famous opening. Starts in that like rest stop bathroom. Pretty cool.
PT got that weird trash bag talking to you, the lunch bag.
That's right. You know what? Speaking of Metal Gear Solid, the opening to 5 is out of control, dude. That was so cool.
The opening to Final Fantasy X. Like beyond like, it starts in media res, like you see like the last third of the game and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? But then the actual like the Blitzball game at the beginning and stuff.
I vaguely remember it. I played that game like 40 years ago. Holly Spice Wolf saying Bioshock 1 intro as well? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, plane crash and then getting the rapture. Oh yeah.
X0 saying, I thought we were talking about opening cinematics. I was thinking of the intro video Sanctuary playing. That's fair. We'll count it. I'll count that for Kingdom Hearts 2, Marcus.
I guess not all games have cinematics that they start with, but yeah, across the board, just the opening.
Holly Spice was saying, wait, Mass Effect 2 intro? Never played a Mass Effect game.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a big art. No, no, it's not a thing where I think they look bad. I'm just not a big RPG fan.
Right. Yeah.
Too cute for LA. Too cute for LA saying Last of Us Part 1. Amazing intro. Yeah, we touched on that one a bit.
I'm mad that I got silver damage, but it's because I'm trying to participate in the conversation. I'm distracted.
You know what has a really good intro? Yakuza 0. Because it's like opening with Kiryu beating the dude in the abandoned lot, and then you start to like unravel that like there's something about this like 6x6 little alley that is not good, that he did what he did. Like that stuff was so interesting.
That's right.
Man, more games should have real estate noir in.
If you just incorporate more real estate into your openings, you really get them in.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like one of people's favorite things in Like a Dragon was the real estate mini game. Remember that?
Oh no, I stopped playing the game so I could finish that. Like I stopped progressing the story. I was like, Ichiban Holdings is going to be the #1 company in Japan.
I mean, you also get like one of the best side characters.
You get a lot of money too for doing that.
Yeah, you get one of the best party members from doing
she was
that
permanent.
campaign.
Yeah, she was like my dedicated healer. She was so good.
Dude, her thumbtack throw, incredible attack. Oh my god. God, I love the Yakuza games. Marcus?
I want to play that 8 one, that Like a Dragon 8 in 2 years, whenever it's supposed to come out.
You know what game I'm most interested in, actually, from them, is Yakuza, or Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who sold his name. I'm so curious about what that is. That was my favorite trailer from the RGG Summit, because it was so different.
Jean is here. Look at her.
Yeah, Jean's great.
I love Jean. Who doesn't love Jean?
But yeah, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who sold his name. Consider this instead.
What if Jean is the Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who I think is the man who erased his name, by the way.
Oh, that's right, the man who erased his name.
Are you thinking about the man who sold the world?
Oh yeah, Metal
That'd be
Gear
great if
Solid 5.
that should be the actual subtitle for the game.
Metal Gear Solid 5, Fan of Pain.
Yes, where the song was invented.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
David Bowie recorded the song just for that game.
Look, who's done more for pop culture and art? David Bowie or Hideo Kojima? I asked this of the panel.
You think they've ever met? It seems like Kojima will go out of his way to try to meet David Bowie.
I don't think they ever met.
You think he had to meet with him to get the song in the game? Like, he's like, hey, let's have lunch. Let's talk about the terms of this licensing.
No, I think by and large, it's actually rare that people have to meet with the songwriters to get their songs in it. Like, you hear about it, of course, but like it seems mostly like a back-end transaction. You pay the license holder, and they're like, all right, here it is. Do what you want with it.
So I got Demon Slave unlocked now. So you see, I got the Dama Butterfly.
Well, there was that weird story about Neil Druckmann having to meet with Eddie Vedder to use that Pearl Jam song in Last of Us Part 2, and I'm like, why? Why did Eddie Vedder care? He gets the money. Just let them use it.
He wants to know the character of the person that's going to use the song. It's not just the money. He's like, I want to know, I'm going to feel this guy out. You know? Crater,
I don't know if RE music will end up in a Kojima game, but in my headcanon, RE and Neon White officially sanctioned when we put them in our OVA. Not OVA. AMV and the review.
Oh, AMV. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, you know, we got the Neon White retweet from that. So I feel like when they reissue the OST, they're gonna have to put Ley Lines by Ari in that, and then I will never be able to cover another Ben Esposito or Annapurna game. Yeah, that was all Alex Van Aken, Crater.
Sean! Saving our life. Look, yeah, it's the Kraken. Like, literally, that's just what they called it.
Right. I'm on a delay, so I'm seeing everything you're doing like 3 seconds after you do it.
Okay. It's a good thing you played this game already. And wrote about what you played.
I did.
They had a review. Check it out. If you haven't, Informer.com.
If you want. You don't have to. It's not my fit. I'll be honest. You know, like, let's drop the facade here, Marcus. It's Friday. Okay. I don't think it's my best. I don't think it's one of my better reviews.
What is your best review?
I mean, I don't think my reviews are very good in general, but my best, probably the Neon White one. That one seemed to be the one people liked the most. Specifically the one paragraph where I called out Drop Dead Gorgeous and Blood Brothers. People seem to like that one, so maybe that. The Ghostwire Tokyo one, I remember getting good feedback from the editorial staff on that one.
I keep forgetting that game came out this year. That game really feels like it came out and then just like everyone kind of moved on.
Not me. That's number 3 for my
advance
personal game of the year list. I love that game.
I would like to play it. I was kind of bummed out to hear that it seemed pretty middling. At least some of the stuff that sounded annoying were things that were like, ooh, I don't know if I want to deal with that. But
Did you read my review?
yeah, I probably proofed it honestly, but I know I read it.
You're not gonna forget Ghostwire came out soon when we run a 8-page feature on it in an upcoming issue.
That'll be your
thinking about it
reminder, like,
then.
hey guys, remember Ghostwire, the gang sign video game?
I recently reinstalled that game and I'm very excited to play through some of it. Crater pointing out top 5 PlayStation startup sounds. That is my best review yet. Can't believe I got away with some of the stuff in that one.
Did you count? I think I remember reading that, but I was gonna say, did the handhelds count? That's technically PlayStation.
No, it was a top 5, and the joke was that there was only 5.
Oh yeah, I know, I get the joke.
Yeah, so I didn't want to include the startup sounds.
What was number 1? Do you remember?
Hold on, I think I do.
I mean, you don't just know. It's probably your actual favorite one, right?
Marcus, believe it or not, I did not take this article seriously.
You should. Sounds like a lot of science was involved.
It was PlayStation 2. No, okay, I thought it was PlayStation 4 because in the text I wrote that I immediately muted all the startup sounds in the PlayStation 4, and that's why I liked it so much, because I never had to hear it again. But it's PlayStation 2.
I think it honestly goes literally by order that they came out. Like the PS1 is still my favorite, then PS2. Because I mean, they've become more muted with each generation, right? Like the PS4, I vaguely remember, and it wasn't that long because it wasn't. They stopped making it a thing, right? They stopped making them grand. Like they became more subtle. Like
You're immediately taking this 1 billion times more serious than
I'm
I
just,
did.
I'm just saying.
article.
I'm saying that's how I arrange them by favor. Like the PS1 has that booming, like almost like THX style, like that. We all know it. You're probably listening to it in your head right now.
So I put PlayStation 1 at number 5, and I opened up the entry with, "Hey, this sucks." So there you go. That's my thoughts on the PlayStation 1 startup sound, I guess.
PlayStation.
When did I?
1?
Yeah. I started it with, "Hey, this sucks."
How could you?
Published on October 20th, 2020. There you go. What's
your first month? Game Informer.
Yeah, I came out swinging.
Yeah.
From a Louisville basement, covered in stale beer and sweat,
Gotta let
and
everybody know
half-lit
how you.
fluorescence.
Yeah.
What's the best review you've written, Marcus?
Like just a Game Informer?
Yeah.
Man. I really liked, if I'm going just this year, I really liked my TMNT one. I thought that one came out really well.
Sure.
I thought the WWE one was good. Obviously that's my wheelhouse, but, I thought I covered that pretty well. Honestly, I remember last year, even though it was a game I didn't like, and I got some flack for it, I thought my Biomutant review was really good. People.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying like people, were excited for that game, so people were mad at me. I was excited for that game too. So you think I enjoy saying that this is bad?
Now you have to offer the opposite, such as I did. What is one you don't think came out very well?
How dreadfully noble.
I don't like to think it came out bad or anything, but there's like the ones that maybe I was the most self-conscious about.
Someplace a little quiet.
Let's see. I'm like cycling. I thought I did Windjammers 2 earlier this year. Like that was my first review of 2022. And that game was like, there's like really nothing to that game. Like it was a very bare bones game, which is one of the things I criticized it for. So in terms of the review, there wasn't like a ton of meat to it. So I remember thinking like, is there anything more I could say here? But then I had to kind of tell myself like, no, there really isn't. It's like, don't force it if there's nothing to say, right? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember feeling kind of like iffy about that one, even though I think it's good. But yeah, that was one where I was kind of like second guessing myself a lot, I guess.
What's your favorite review that I wrote?
I like your Neon White one a lot.
Thank you. I didn't really.
Especially because because I think that game is very hard to not just describe, but like trying to articulate why something, when you look at the game, it looks not just confusing, but also kind of simple, and trying to articulate like, no, here's like all the weird like layers to it that make it fun. I think you did a really good job of that, because even like I was following the game, and even I still like, I feel like it's one of those games you never truly quite understand until you actually play it. Because I was trying to sell a friend on it because he was curious, and he came over, and it was like, I just gave him my Switch. Like, this is the only way you're really gonna understand what I'm trying to describe to you.
You made your friend play it on Switch?
I played that whole game on Switch. It plays very well on Switch. It's better on PC, but being able to lay in bed and play that game is fantastic. Like, it is a good handheld game, and it controls great with a controller. It's better with a mouse, I know that, but it's not like it's bad with a controller.
I played that game in bed too on a laptop.
But I knocked some sense into him.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like Steam Deck is like, that's the perfect marriage, right? Because you get the performance plus the portability.
You could just play it on a laptop.
I'm here for a little while.
I would just put a hard.
You gotta lay a hot laptop on my...
Dude, here's what I did. I got my Patrick Nagel art book out because it had a good surface area. It's a big book, and I put my mouse on that, so I had a good sturdy surface. I put my laptop on my lap, and that's how I reviewed that game. There you go.
See, I feel like I might be a better Neon White player because I played it on the quote-unquote harder way with a mouse, or not a mouse, but analog stick, and I was still getting like perfect scores and just destroying the people on my side. I was like, if I'm good with this, I'd probably like crush with a mouse.
Yeah, you got perfect scores on Switch, which is like winning a Fortnite Battle Royale on Switch. It's nice, but it doesn't compare.
I annihilated Brian Shea.
Okay, well.
Every time his leaderboard I was like, wow, he's not doing too good, it looks like. Let me show him how it's done. And
I mean, you could probably beat a baby in a 3-point shooting contest too, you know?
Never mind.
Well, I don't think that counts. I think the baby would be physically unable to play, so I don't think that's the same.
I said what I said. The analogy works. Thank you, Crater.
So your favorite characters here, Blake, Viola? Seen first interaction with the main cast here?
Oh my lord.
You see, I gave her a new shirt. I don't know if you've noticed. You can change out clothing for both characters, though. Bayonetta's is a lot more extensive. I mean, I guess because her clothing is her hair, so you can change like the colors and stuff. What'd you do?
I totally like changed Bayonetta's whole look. I loved it. Viola, I did not care. But Bayonetta, I bought her new costumes and new outfits and color schemes, new glasses and everything. I was so into it.
Okay, I looked at them, but I never changed. I don't know. I think honestly, I like this look the best out of her 3 looks in the game, or in the other games.
Yeah,
I wasn't
do too.
Sure before, but yeah, now that I played the whole game, that's like, I really like that design.
Her braids are so good.
Yeah.
I put her in like a really bright pink outfit because pink is my favorite color, and it works well on Bayonetta.
I thought about giving her the pink coloring because she'd have the pink and black, kind of like the Hart family. I know you know all about the Harts.
Brett Owen hit the man.
Oh, yes, actually more than I thought you would know.
I know what happened to one of them. Very tragic.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, you turned my joke against me, Blake. I'm proud, but
Marcus, I'm aware of like popular things in culture. Like,
All stacked up together.
like
Brett
it's not
the
like
Hitman
Brett the Hitman. Yeah, it's not like he's some underground wrestler. Like,
But he's not like John Cena or anything where everybody
he's an
knows him.
extremely famous man who died in an extremely
Well, no,
infamous way.
Owen died.
Oh,
Brett is
Owen.
still
All
Brett's
right.
still with
Apologies,
us.
Apologies.
Brett just tells
fuse
people
together.
that they're bad wrestlers and complains about Goldberg now. That's kind of his thing.
Hey, we've all been there. We've all been there.
We've all been kicked in the head by Goldberg at some point and had a severe concussion that ended our careers prematurely.
And ain't that a kick in the head?
That's how he ends all of his gripes.
Enough talking.
You know, Roden could be a
Infinity in a snap.
he could be a wrestler. He's got the build. He's got the voice.
Yeah.
If he picked up a microphone and started talking about what he was gonna do to another guy, I'd listen.
Thank you, Professor.
Yep. Don't know what I was gonna say. Started a sentence but didn't have anything.
I would like to know what drink Roden just made. As a
And
non-drinker,
what do you
I'm
expect
curious.
us to do?
Yeah, I'm in recovery, so I don't want to look at this part, you know.
There are two things
Yeah.
we have to do.
Do you want to look at the cool
want you
shirt
to
that I
find a
gave Viola?
No.
It's got a nice
Sigurd.
cap on it.
Nothing about Viola is cool.
You like her hair?
Literally nothing. No.
Would you do that? Would you get that hair
Come with
style?
me
No.
to help find more.
Have you ever colored your hair, Blake?
No.
No?
This is
I mean, my
curiosity.
hair's already an
The
interesting
key to
color.
beating
I mean, that's a good
singularity.
point, yeah.
Naturally, yeah.
The only one who knows how to use them.
Her shirt says bleed. I
Dr.
don't know if you can
Sigurd.
see it there. Sure. I like to let
Without
people
both
know
of them,
that that's what's going to happen to you when you face
Kiss
Viola.
this world goodbye.
Wow.
Scares them, you see.
That's right. That's
Since
right.
solitaire and a
I was
literary
always
man
scared
cave
when
is
Viola
exactly
came on screen
riveting.
because I was like, oh no, do I have to play as her now?
Oh,
No.
fun's over. Yeah, Viola. So her thing, for those that don't know, is that
Have a bit of
she's
girl talk
she's a
along
number
the
witch, but
way.
she's not all the way there. She's in training, so moveset wise, she's a lot more limited compared to
anyway,
Bayonetta. And at least personally, I don't think she's like
gonna introduce
bad.
me to this thing
If this
or
was
what?
like, if she didn't have Bayonetta one-upping her every 2 seconds, then maybe it wouldn't be as glaring. But yeah, Bayonetta has so much more offensively available to her that as the game went on for me, I started looking forward less and less to playing as Viola because she doesn't get new stuff. Like, she doesn't get new weapons or anything. You know, you can unlock new moves with the skill tree, but, you know, Bayonetta has this absurd variety of weapons and demons that she gets, and it's like, man, You know what would also upset me too sometimes, Blake, is that there are some chapters where you'll get a new weapon from Bayonetta, and then they go to Viola, and you're like, oh, I don't even get to use the new thing immediately. I gotta get through this Viola thing.
Yeah.
It's like a weird tease of like, oh man, that demon looks cool, can't wait to equip that, and it's like, nope, you gotta wait a bit, you gotta play as Viola for a bit.
Which is so unfortunate. They have to play as
Yeah, thankfully, it's they're not, what is it like? I mean, I don't want to say the exact number, but it's not a 50-50 split. Like, I thought that it was going to be that when they were pitching her as a new character, but it's probably like 70-30?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, you know.
Especially towards like the
to the unknown.
back half of the game, you play as her less and less and less.
The secluded
Which is great.
island of Thule.
What do you think of
Are you
Cheshire,
sure
the
your
demon cat? You like
fantasy
him?
island is real?
Yeah, it's fun. No beef.
Got an old-timey bike.
Ambivalent.
There's a bike shop near where I live that has one of those old-timey bikes like outside on display. And
Yeah.
I always want to ask the owner if I could like get on it because I want to know what it's like to sit on those things.
But you have it?
Like, hey, I don't want to ride it, but can I just get on it, please?
Oh goodness.
You know, there's a whole like following of people that ride those. Like, there's a whole federation of people that ride those bikes, like professional cyclists that compete with just those bikes. It's like a whole subculture.
Someone seems
I'm not
very
surprised.
interested in
People
our arrival.
love doing weirdo stuff like that.
Apparently, they're very dangerous because of like how weirdly balanced they are, and because of how high up. Like, it's hard to control. Like, it takes a lot of skill to.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna go downhill on one of those things, good luck.
What's that?
I wouldn't have a problem. I'll tell you that right now. I could do it.
I want to see someone enter the Tour de France with that.
That'd be nuts.
Like, you know, the commission says like, no, sir, you can't. And they got to be like, no, I want to like prove a point. Like, it would be like an inspiring sports story, but it'll be like the person that was maybe poor and that was the only bike they could afford. They couldn't get the fancy bikes like the professionals, but they're like, you know, I'm gonna prove to everyone that old school is cool. And
Yeah.
they somehow managed to win the Tour de France with that bike.
I think to do that, you would have to be the. Oh my god. I think you'd have to be the strongest person in the world to be able to do that. Like, trying to get that thing up the slightest incline would kill most people.
You'd have to be pretty tall too, so your legs
Yeah.
reach it. Yeah, especially because the handlebars are basically waist level. Like, it just looks so dangerous. Like, it feels like you have like no control over it at all.
And let's call it for what it is, Marcus. It looks dumb too.
Oh no, it looks stupid. Like, how did I don't even understand? I know it was like the early age of cycling, but like, how do you not just think like, what if both wheels were the same size? Like, why did?
Yeah.
Like that seems like just for symmetry reasons. You go like, why would we have this one?
Dude, people in old times were so stupid. Like, what a bunch of idiots. I cannot believe humanity made it out of the olden times when they're putting like leeches on themselves and stuff and like drinking mercury. Morons.
Drinking mercury, just pouring mercury in our mouths.
Yeah, dude. What a bunch of idiots. And it's like, oh, they built the pyramids. It's like, yeah, they also lived to 20 and died of diarrhea. Idiots.
A lot of people died making those pyramids too. It's not like
Yeah.
no one that started that pyramid lived to see the completion.
Yeah.
Like, that actively worked on it. I would like to know that. Like, I would like to, if they found like a manuscript of the one person that's like, no, I was here from the beginning and I was here when we put the pharaoh inside and everything.
Trader's saying, to be fair, we still use leeches medically, just, you know, less stupidly. I imagine the doctor that still uses leeches in 2022 looks like that doctor that gave Trump his presidential health exam. Like, that's the kind of doctor who's still using leeches, and you shouldn't be going to that kind of doctor. That's bad news bears. And I'm not talking about the original. I'm talking about the remake. That's real bad news bears.
Is the remake the one with
You're
Mark
seeing
Wahlberg?
that
Oh,
from a
hold on.
distance too,
Crater's
right?
hitting me with some real facts right
Yeah.
now. Leech saliva is an
Sure, the world
anticoagulant.
I bet the people who
I mean,
built
yeah,
this
leeches
place
are
used to
actually,
watch
like, they
over
are actually
different
helpful
worlds
if you
the
use
same
them.
way.
If you use them.
I think if a doctor came up to me and was like, either we put this leech on you, or that's all she wrote, I'd be like, well, write the end, because that's the end of this book. I'm done. Like, no way you're putting some leech on me. You're out of your mind, doc.
So this is Thule, everybody, which is a sort of where you'll be visiting to travel between all the multiverses. Kind of a nice hub world. And a lot of the levels in Bayonetta 3 are like this big. Like, this game kind of does away with the sort of corridor design that the first two games had. So it's not even just limited to this area, which I think is pretty cool.
Buddy of mine is a pharmacy tech and actually got to tube up a leech a couple weeks back. Only
Wait,
reason
what?
I know we still do that. That's
He
what
did-
Crater's saying
He
right
did
now.
What to a leech?
Tube up a leech.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess put a leech in a tube, if I had to guess.
Tube it up?
Tube up?
It sounded dirty for some reason.
It opens with Umbran magic.
Yeah, you try and tube up a leech?
Like, it sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah.
Like, hey, baby, you want to tube up a leech?
You ever been on Tinder? A lot of people looking to tube up their leech.
So, yeah, I put on my profile.
Oh my lord. Marcus, what are you doing? You fell off the tree.
I know, I got stuck. Because, oh no, I don't want to be okay. I really didn't want to be despite. You know what? We're not going to do this. We're just going to
Hold up.
it. We don't
Hold
need to
up. Hold
do
up.
any of this stuff.
Hold up.
What?
Crater's saying, imagine the vacuum tubes at a bank drive-through, but in a hospital. What? Really?
A what now?
Crater says,
like the tubes.
Yeah. I don't know. Do not put a leech on me. I'll say that right now. And you can tell people I said this in a public forum. I am anti-leech. Do not believe in that. No
Also,
way.
now that you mentioned those bank tubes, has anyone else ever, as a kid, ever wanted to ride in one of those things? Like,
No.
watch your mom stick them, you know, you go through the drive-thru, and they're like, it looks like it'd be fun if I could
No.
shrink and get inside that thing.
Bro,
Really?
have you not seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? One of those kids dies like
Well,
that.
no, that's because his whole body, I want to be inside the cup that is in the tube. I don't want just to be in the tube. You're in
You're
the,
out of your mind.
you're in the
Mark.
protected case, you know.
You are out of your mind. Can we talk about how many kids Charlie
Plus, I
and the
mean-
Chocolate Factory killed? Willy Wonka killed?
No, because remember, they all walk out the factory at the end.
No.
They're just
No,
kinda-
that's
they're just
a
kinda messed up.
Bernstein Bears. That's a Bernstein Bears. I don't believe they do. I haven't seen that movie in 32 years, but I don't believe it. I think
Yep.
he murdered all of them children.
Yeah, you're saying you haven't seen the Johnny Depp remake in 32 years.
That's true, because I'm not 32 years old and I've never seen that movie. So
Oh, you never
yes.
seen the Tim Burton version?
No.
It's
No,
not
no,
bad.
no, no.
I think that movie's fine. You know, I mean, technically
Yeah,
it's
but, like-
better because it's more accurate to the book.
Yeah, but okay, I don't think being more accurate to the source material makes something better.
I mean, it makes it better in as someone that does like the book. It was kind of cool to see because Fun fact: the Gene Wilder movie very different than the book, to the point where the original author actually hated that movie because of how just much it diverged.
I think that's good, though. I think more adaptations should diverge radically from the source material.
I mean, it depends on
'Cause,
radically.
like-
Because if it's too radically, you're like, then why did you even adapt this?
I just think, like, if I really cared enough about the sanctity of the storytelling in something, I would just read the book. But, like, an artist interpretation of someone else's universe, I think is really cool. Like, the Suspiria remake, going in wildly different directions than Dario Argento's, that's so cool. The Resident Evil, Paul W. S. Anderson's Resident Evil movie, it's so cool. Except for the second one, that movie's dog trash.
No, I'm with you. Like,
Good luck.
I'm more interested in someone doing a cool take than just like copy, especially with video games. Like video game movies, it's like I don't want to see copy paste of the game. I'll just play the game, do something like keep the spirit of the thing you're adapting. If it's if it's a pretty story focused game, at least keep the major beats, But if you want to introduce some new characters or do your own thing, I think I welcome that. 'Cause it's like odds are if you just replicate the story beat for beat, it's going to be inferior to what the game did. Like if someone just does BioShock the movie, it's like you're probably not going to outdo BioShock's the game's story. Either because the acting is bad or whatever it is, but
Okay, hold on. Crater sent me more information about these tubes. And it is literally the thing from the banks, like a pneumatic tube. And I guess his buddy had to put a leech in one of these and shoot it to wherever it went.
so wait, the hospital and the banks just use the same tubes? Like they shop at the same
Well,
tube
no.
store? And
Well, okay, yeah. I thought you meant like, are the tubes connected?
no.
Probably not. Probably not.
There's
would
like a
probably
button
be,
that reroutes it. Like, okay, bank,
Yeah.
hospital, where's this going?
that would probably be a sanitation concern. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. And a leech was in there.
That'd be funny if it's like someone got the wires crossed and you're sending leeches to the bank.
Can you let me know what hospital they work at, Crater, so I never go to that hospital ever? Crazy. Anyway, yeah, Willy Wonka killed all them kids, and we just don't talk about it.
I mean, I'd be fine if Veruca Salt didn't make it out of there. She was.
Marcus, you literally cannot say on a Twitch stream that you'd be okay if a child died.
I mean, Veruca Salt acted like if she was grown enough to be yelling at her mom or her dad, right? It's her dad. She wants to be an adult, so I mean, she can go out like an adult. As adults tend to do. They die completely normally, like she did. How did she go again? She falls down to shoot, right? She does the song and then she stomps on the thing and then falls, right? They give
I don't know.
Give it to me now, and then. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, she
really-
falls.
I
Yeah, she
don't
literally
know.
just falls in. If anything, she has maybe the most uninventive, quote unquote, death. Because everyone else, Blueberry Girl and getting stuck in a tube, Mike TV, Veruca just falls in a hole basically.
There's also the popular 90s alternative band Veruca Salt. So, there we go.
Oh, are they all terrible people too?
They seem fun.
I think Mike TV was like the only kid that wasn't really bad. He was just kind of obsessed with TV, right? But he wasn't like a bad kid.
I don't think those kids deserve to die. They were children. Like, full stop. You can justify it however you want, Marcus. I just don't think children
I
deserve
mean, Willy
to be
Wonka
murdered.
didn't kill them. They got into their own situation through their greed or selfishness.
Okay,
whatever, and
okay. No.
No one told Veruca to stop
He-
the little trash chute
He
thing.
he runs a factory, not up to code. That's like, oh, you're working at the Amazon warehouse and you died. Sorry, that sucks. This Jeff Bezos is freaking
Well,
problem.
this
It's
is
not
England.
child.
They have different codes over there.
I literally.
In 1967, when that movie, 70s, England, different standards. I'm just saying, Veruca. At a certain point, common sense has to come into play.
This is awful. This is truly terrible. This is offensive, obscene. I think you should
I don't think anyone.
tried in front of a court of your peers for your transgressions against children.
I don't think anyone came to Veruca's funeral. I'm just gonna say it.
I heard what you said, and I just cannot believe.
I think I think even her parents were hesitant to show up for her. I think they were there by a sense of obligation. I think they secretly, I bet after the incident, her dad pulled Willie aside and was like, "Hey, actually, you just did me a huge favor."
I can't believe you're doubling down on this. Internet, do your thing. Cancel this.
I mean,
man.
I'm a bad parent. Ultimately, the buck stops with me that she wound up the way that she did. But also, maybe the world's a better place that this monster of a child is gone.
Unbelievable. Cannot believe you're saying this.
That's the Willy Wonka sequel. that they were
Marcus,
talking
I don't know if you know, but we are live right now.
I'm just, I used to be genuinely terrified of the bubble room scene in that movie when Charlie and his grandpa are floating up to the. I used to,
Really?
when they drink the champagne and they're floating up to, and the fans are gonna chop them up and they have to burp to get down.
That's not the scene that usually scares people.
Well, no,
tunnel
because the
scene.
first time I saw it as a kid, it gave me such anxiety because they're floating closer and closer, and they don't know what to do. They're like, how do we get down? And they're flipping out, and then only because Charlie just happened to burp, that had that lucky burp, that they figured out what to do. But they got really close, they were right up there. And I don't know, they that scene is low key, kind of terrifying. It's great tension building as they're steadily rising, and they're helpless. And then because remember they got separated when they didn't get separated, they chose to separate themselves. So it was the added thing of this is kind of their fault because they weren't supposed to be in that room. So it's now they can't even call for help because everybody's gone. Scary scene, Blake.
Should we acknowledge that the wildest thing in gaming history is happening in this game right now?
Yeah, that dinosaur was doing some surfing.
Very cool, huh?
This is
Pretty-
kind of
pretty
Willy Wonka. This is Willy Wonka caliber of wackiness, right? This is up there with floating to the ceiling and almost getting chopped up. Speaking
Marcus,
of-
what we didn't acknowledge is this level begins at Shinagawa train station, which is the train station that was our home base when we were in Japan last month. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
Thought that was a cool touch.
it was there's another location in this Japanese area that I went to on my own. That it was very fun to see. Of wow, if I hadn't visited this place a month ago, I would just kind of look at this and go yeah, okay, cool.
This is where we went to that chicken restaurant where that dude hated you.
Yeah, you think he survived this? You think he's here somewhere, or you think he's run for his
You
life?
better pray he's not in this game. He hated you.
Somehow he still recognizes me as the person playing.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
And also, it wasn't just me. You were.
No, he had no beef with me.
I mean, the dishes thing though. You were part of that.
Yeah, but when we were ordering,
Oh yeah, no. You were like a godsend compared to me.
I pulled a fast one on y'all.
Yeah, I was trying to order food basically for those that don't know, and this was my first real test of ordering food in Japan. And there was pictures on the menu, and I pointed. I was like, "Oh, I'll have this." Where it broke down was the issue of the drink, Because I told him, like, okay, I want this, and I wasn't sure, like, oh, does this come with a drink? Can I have a drink? And he didn't understand that. He was saying something that I could not understand, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get a drink or not, and I was just trying to really clarify, like, does this come with a drink, or do I have to order it separately? I want a drink, regardless of how it comes. I hope you understand that I would like a beverage.
And this dude was getting progressively more angry at Marcus. And while this was all happening, I went outside because the menu was on the outside and memorized all the names of what I wanted in Japanese, and then went in there and just dropped them. And he was like, "My bro, I got you."
It's
And
a
I was
messed
like,
up thing
"Thank
to-
you."
Yeah, it's a messed up thing to do to your friend. Just make it like I'm gonna intentionally make him look awful.
Yeah, I was like, arigato gozaimashita. Thank you.
You know what's also messed up is that you could have also ordered me a drink while you were doing that, and you didn't. You could have, and I didn't get a drink. But they had free water there, so I just took that.
I got a banana.
You got a drink for
smoothie.
yourself, but you didn't even like clarify, like, hey, my idiot like friend would like a drink. Can you make sure he has one?
I got a banana smoothie, and it was good.
Yep, for one.
Thing I recommend doing before going to a foreign country is get the most basic baseline of a language, and you'll be able to navigate most conversations just by knowing like at least 10 words.
I can only say arigato so many times.
Dude,
I need to
I was
know.
in
I
there.
need to know what drink means.
I was in there. I was doing great.
Beverage, please. Sippy cup, anything? Look at this. This game is so much fun, Blake.
It really is.
There's so much
So
fun.
good.
Like, this is, like you said in your review, and I agree that when it's just Bayonetta, it is the best Bayonetta that, you know, there's ever been made. Like, the action is so good, the Demon Masquerade and Slave stuff works so well. It's to the point where you're like, how did we play Bayonetta without this stuff? Like, if I ever revisit those two games, I'm going to miss having all these cool demon powers. Look at that. Hey, yo-yo. Oh, you're still
That's how I
alive.
felt. That's how I felt playing the first 5 hours of God of War. I was like, why can't Bayonetta's powers be in this game?
Why isn't Kratos dancing right now?
Yeah, why can't I just have Bayonetta here instead?
I mean, Kratos is the complete opposite of, like, he has no hair. You know, he's bald. I mean, he's got
No personality, yeah.
unless his beard hair extended and covered his whole body.
I'm not allowed to talk about anything beyond the first 5 hours.
We can confirm that
Can't-
Kratos is still bald, though.
I can't address these comments. What at the end of the game he just had a toupee on? He's like, this is my new thing.
That's what he got out of this journey. He was like, you know,
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've had hair. Maybe I should try that again.
Just like a blonde toupee.
You think he's bald by choice, or you think he just shaves his head? Because he's been
Oh.
bald since like forever, and it's like he's not like old or anything.
Did Spartan warriors have shaved heads?
So I feel like there's the times you run into the artist Spartans in those games, and they have hair, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
His brother had hair. Remember in the PSP game that had his brother? He had hair, didn't he?
I can't find any photos of Spartan warriors.
Yeah, it's really. Yeah, photography was a
It's
lot
still
harder
new
back
back
then.
then.
It's
Still
hard.
new back then. Yeah,
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 people
yeah.
were still figuring it out.
Dude, how crazy would it be if people had photography back then? We could just like look at
my
people 3,000 years ago.
Like people in Pompeii, Mount Vesuvius erupted. You just see
Yeah.
point like, man, look at this thing.
Instead, we have all their bad art, which like a lot of those dudes were
Oh.
not good artists. They weren't. I'm sorry. Let's call it for what it is. They had no sense of depth. Everything's like just 2D and flat. It's like, come on, dude.
Oh,
A little perspective will go a long way. The vanishing point? Where's your vanishing point?
I was gonna say a messed up joke where like they might have not had a sense of depth, but they did have a sense of death.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Holly, believe it or not, Zack Snyder's 300 was not a documentary.
Wait, really?
Believe it or not, Marcus.
I've been watching it wrong. I was like, yep, this is what it. This is exactly how it went down.
I don't know if that means you're watching it wrong. You're just comprehending it wrong.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good point.
Watching it wrong would be like closing your eyes the entire time.
Like covering the screen in mayonnaise or something.
Yeah, that would be watching it wrong.
You don't want to do that.
Y'all want to see my Gundam again? pretty cool. He's just sitting down here. Look at that. Pretty neat,
Oh,
huh?
you hear that? You hear that? It's a frog here. There it is. Did you ever find all of the familiars in a stage, Blake? Did you ever go out of
Having
way
an
to
outdoor recital?
get
No.
all? And no, so you never got the secret stages.
No, absolutely not.
Which
Life
really?
is so-
Oh, jeez.
Life is only so long. You know what I'm saying?
It's about time.
I'm glad they.
Marcus.
What were you gonna say?
I've been meaning to ask you. You want to know what I'm gonna ask you?
I'm waiting.
That's what I've been meaning to ask you. Do you know what I want to ask you? Have you played Immortality?
I have been I'm playing it now. I've been playing
like
it
it?
off and on the last week and a half, just in between
Mm-hmm.
Bayonetta and review stuff. Cause I
Yep.
been. Do I like it? I'm
Confused for them.
in terms of the story. I'm in. I'm. They got me hooked. I need to see where it goes.
Okay.
I don't. It's weird to say if I like it in the sense that it's got its hooks in me the way her story did of I feel like
Yeah.
a detective and it's fun to think about theories about what is happening here. I think I know what's going on. Okay, maybe not, and making the connections of who do I need to be looking into right now.
Economics.
I need to see how it wraps up to see whether or not it's actually a good
And
story
you'd
they're
like
telling.
me to
But
help you down
yeah,
there?
what about you?
I just installed it today.
Okay.
I haven't played it, but
Bayonetta.
I have heard from sources I trust that it seems like a Blake game, so I'm excited to dive in.
Isn't
Check it out.
well, listening to MinMax, isn't Jacob Geller really into it?
Yeah.
I remember him being pretty high on it. So you haven't talked to him about it?
No, he's one of my sources I trust.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Crater, did I finish up that Tall Geese? Yeah, I did it on a stream a few weeks ago. I finished it. Hello, Reagan.
I'll probably
Say hello to
play
people.
Piece of hair.
some more Immortality this weekend, honestly.
I think I'm gonna play it. There are a few games I want to play before Game of the Year stuff. I want to play that.
Yeah, there's some-
Signalis.
Yeah, I need
I want
to
to play Sig.
Accepted.
I liked what I played at Tokyo Game Show. I wanna dig into
Yeah, I'm kind of into its vibe, but I'm not into that old style of gameplay, so I don't know if it's gonna be for me. But I want to check it out.
It's
And-
not tank controls if that's what you're concerned about. It plays
Oh,
like
okay.
a regular video game. It's just got the design template of classic Resident Evil, but it plays fine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
And Metal Hellsinger, which I don't know, I've been just putting it off because contrary to popular belief, I'm not a big metal guy. And the fact it's just metal kind of turns me off, but I don't know, maybe in the context of the game it'll work.
Sorry,
You
that was
know?
my metal. That was my metal singer.
Yeah, that sounded great, Marcus.
That was one of the. one of the
Glad you said that over what I was saying. That was real great. Thanks.
It's very polite of me.
Yeah. But I have that installed, so I want to check that out. Metallica is rad, isn't that into metal? I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, Polly.
More like Metallica is bad.
Crater, I hate ska with every fiber of my being. That is the worst music genre.
I just realized that my imitation sounds more like Disturbed specifically than anyone else. That's all they always sound like to me. Their music.
Yeah, Disturbed's not really a metal band though. I mean, they're definitely new metal adjacent, but they're more like buzz rock, like Five Finger Death Punch type stuff.
The best thing they ever
there's-
did was the remix of Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song in 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Disturbed's
You know
cool.
the one.
I like Disturbed's first album. I think it's really good. I don't really care much for Trivium, that style of metal, and Matt Heffy is in Metal Hellsinger, or Arch Enemy, stuff like that. Very technically impressive music, but just does very little for me from a heavy music standpoint.
Right.
Not death metal, just fine. That's great. Thrash metal, great. Just not metal. And Holly, to your point, you know, Metallica historically was a thrash metal band, so that's a little easier for me. Then they mainly went butt rock for a while, which was awesome. Load and Reload, their best albums. Crater, I don't know what that is, I'll be honest with you. Ne Obliscaris? I don't know. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. But anyway, I want to check out Metal Hole Singer. It looks cool.
Yeah, I have a list of games I've written down to either finish or start for Game of the Year stuff.
Yeah.
I got a couple things. I have like one thing I'm playing right now that's big that I can't talk about.
I don't even know what that is. Oh yeah, I do.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was
okay,
like, I
got you.
said it at work.
Yeah.
But I've got. I thought I was gonna be getting code for the Quarry, and I realized that hasn't happened yet. I did want to.
You
try
might
it.
have.
I would like to play it.
I got it and just could not bring myself to open it. I think that game looks bad.
Actually, I really need to start grounding, or I guess technically get back to grounding, because I did play some of it in early access, but the 1.0 version seems to be pretty good from what I'm hearing, and I like that game's concept a lot. I'm a sucker for Little People, Big World, and especially Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And I played some of the early access with a buddy, and we had fun, so I would like to play some of the finished version of it.
I'll say this right now. All the games I was looking forward to this year, a rare year where they're definitely all on my top 10. Like Neon White is #1. I'll spoil it. I don't care. Bayonetta 3 for sure. Ghostwire Tokyo definitely. Oh, you know what? Stray. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if that'll end up on my top 10. And I was looking forward to that game for like 6 or 7 years.
I don't think it's that old.
Stray has been been around forever.
Oh, like, I mean, I believe it was developed, but like, was it announced that long ago?
Yes, like we wrote about Stray when I was at Killscreen, which was like,
wow.
it might have even been before I was at Killscreen, which was like 2017. I think like they might have written about that game before that. Like that game was floating around for
I guess we
like
just remember
the
that
better part of a decade.
Yeah, I guess we just remember that big reveal. That was like, what was that? The PS5 like reveal.
Yeah, that's
what
what.
they did. Like that's
what y'all remember, but the real ones were rewatching those Twitter gifs for years, dude.
Like, this is cat.
Dude, yeah. But I did really like that game. I just don't know if that's a top 10 for me.
Yeah. I mean, #1, you know, this is going to be no surprise to most people, but it's Elden Ring.
Neon White.
Neon White's my #2.
Oh, nice.
Neon White's my #2, yeah.
I think mine's shaking out opposite. Neon White 1, Elden Ring 2.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to throw Elden Ring for me. And not like #2 is bad by any stretch. Bayonetta 3 is in my top 10 for sure. I haven't decided where it is because I just finished it, so I need to kind of let it percolate a bit. But I know it's going to be top 10. I know I have like Norco's my #3. I really, really love that game. That's still my favorite narrative of the year. Citizen Sleeper's in there.
Shout out to Gareth Damian Martin. He used to write a kill screen with us when we were covering Stray.
He worked on Citizen Sleeper?
I think he's the like creative director.
Oh, okay.
Gareth also, they developed Into Other Waters. That was pretty popular a few years ago.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Citizen Sleeper, fantastic game. I want to play those DLC episodes that they've been dropping.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, for me specifically, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, it's in there. It's definitely my most played game of anything this year. Like that is my comfort food. Like, I just want to play a game and listen to a podcast. I'm gonna play Master Duel. Like, so that yeah.
My top 3 for the longest time was Neon White, Elden Ring, Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire is for sure gonna be in my top 10, but we'll see if it stays in that 3 spot. But I think that game, like every game Tango makes, never gonna get its fair shake. Such a cool game. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a great game, but it's so cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
You know, Elden Ring, I think, deserves all its praise, but I think between that and Neon White is easily the game I think about more. Elden Ring is like occasionally I'm thinking about it, but Neon White just owns my brain.
Also, Horizon Forbidden West. I really like
Oh,
that
yeah.
game. It just had the misfortune of coming out so close to Elden Ring that it just once again just ate its lunch and just dominated the mind share.
I mean, Horizon's fine. It probably sold 40 billion copies.
I'm sure,
Like,
but I mean, in terms of like, oh wow, I'd rather, as much as I like Horizon, if you put that and Elden Ring next to me, I'm gonna want to play Elden Ring, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Where, like, I had to finish Horizon because I was like, I will never finish this game if I just keep playing Elden Ring, so I should just get this out the way. Which it feels bad to treat the game like it's the vegetable to your dessert, because it's a really good game in its own right. But man, I
didn't finish Horizon, but I did really like that game quite a bit. I thought it was really solid, and I think the first game sucks. So like, it really turned it around for me in that sequel.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I was like very, very into it. Just, it was one of those games where I had the Blake ending where I played as much as I wanted, and I was like, playing more would just make me like it less. So I just stopped. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like I'm with you that I like the first game, but this one's definitely better. It fixes a lot of stuff. That glider makes a big difference.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, maybe like in fidelity wise, maybe the most stunning game I've ever seen in my life. Like that game is absurdly good looking.
You should see the first 5 hours of God of War Ragnarok.
I mean, that game looks amazing. I've played enough to be like, I'm in an area now that I won't say, but looking at it, you go, yeah, this has like $1 bajillion behind it. Like, look at this. But I mean, Horizon, it's one of the things you look at it, you're like, how is this not only looking so well, but how is it running as well? On like the frame rate is still like 60, but it looks fantastic. What else? Tunic. Tunic's in my top 10. Don't want to forget that.
Oh yeah.
I don't want Jill to strangle me.
I didn't play that game.
Tunic has one of my favorite moments of the year. That
It looks rad. I'm just not really into that like twee stuff, like comfort core, as Bad M Podcast calls it.
I don't know if it's really that. Like
That's more of like
it looks like that's what it is, but when you get
that's
into
like
it,
that's more of an aesthetic thing, not a mechanical thing.
So I'm gonna say
Like-
that game gets
Like
pretty...
Celeste is like comfort core. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Did you like Celeste?
Yeah, Celeste is great. Story's overhyped for what it is, but the game is awesome. I love that game. Yeah, I'm just not super into that art style, so it kind of like kept me away from it. But I'm sure it's awesome. Like Jill, I trust Jill's opinion more than most, and she has clearly banged the drum for that game for a long time now.
Yeah, it's one of those games I'm like Joe, where I get very excited about when I hear people say like I just started playing it because knowing the directions that game goes in, I just want to see like how long it's gonna take before they kind of see what's really going on. With
I
that
think
game.
the manual stuff, the video game manual stuff in that is very cool. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, if there was like a GOTY category for like, I don't know if that's I guess it's technically a mechanic of like best mechanic or best like feature, I guess. Like that might be number one.
Don't we have a best mechanic category?
Do we?
If I had to guess,
You think we would know? But-
we've stripped a lot of those back over the years.
yeah, I don't even think we did. I don't even remember if we did that last year or not. I don't think so. But
Yeah.
if there was one, I would vote probably that manual as the best thing, best mechanic.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know what else came out. I don't know.
I mean, did you finish Dying Light 2? Because that's one game I need to go
No.
back to because it came out so soon. It came out right before Horizon and Elden Ring. But I started it, and then Horizon came out, and I cared more about Horizon, and then Elden Ring came out, and I cared more about that.
Yeah.
So Dying Light got buried very quickly.
I went through that same arc. I also got a game-breaking bug in Dying Light 2 and had to wait for a patch. And by the time they patched it, Horizon was out.
Right.
And an important distinction between Horizon and Dying Light 2 is Horizon doesn't have one of the worst stories I've ever seen in a video game ever.
Well,
And
can't
so I
you
was
think-
like, well, that's that. And I never went back to Dying Light 2.
Well, like, maybe you just made the bad choices. You know, maybe my story would be better. Maybe you just everything you chose was wrong. I'm just kidding. But
I would say that's a flaw of game design if one of your choice arcs is where you put all the terrible dialogue. Like,
It's like, oh, I
that's a
meant-
flaw. It's a fun game though. Like I don't want to take away from that game. Like it is really fun. It's just like the story is abysmal.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll finish it in time 'cause it's such a big game, and I'm not that far into it. I've considered just restarting it because it's been so long. Because it's like I probably put like 8 hours into it before I got sidetracked. I could probably just maybe it's better to
Hold
just
on.
start scrap.
What was that game? I wanted to play it.
Came out this year.
Yeah, I think it was made by the Devil Daggers team.
Oh, they do have a new game. I don't remember. Yeah.
It looks, it's like one of the wildest looking games I've ever seen. Hold on, I'm asking someone what it is. Oh, I could just look up Devil Daggers developer.
Shout out to Vampire Survivors.
Oh, yeah.
Went 1.0 a week or two ago. But
Yeah.
that game's super fun. I wish I had a Steam Deck to play it handheld like everybody else, so that seems great.
Hyper Demon.
What is it?
That Hyper Demon.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna install that right now. Shouts out to the
Wait.
Steam Press account. I can do anything I want.
These weird fish things.
Do you have this, Marcus? The Steam Press account? Not to be inside baseball, but
I actually don't. I always forget.
Oh
that we
my
have it.
God.
I have I have our Epic store.
Oh,
account,
okay.
Which I mean, I might have the game through that because we get a lot of games through that if it's on both. But,
dude, the Steam Press account it's like almost unbelievable it exists.
I always
Like,
forget to
it's
just.
wild.
I always forget to ask just for the login for that.
Yeah, it's an absurd thing. I can't believe they do that.
But I'm gonna shout out Roller Drome. I finished that not too long ago. That game's pretty rad.
I want to shout out Fortnite. That's on my top 10 for sure this year. Full disclosure, my better half is AJ Moser, who makes Fortnite. He doesn't even work on Fortnite.
Also, I mean, if I could vote for one thing of like, again, this isn't mechanic, but like best singular, like, I don't know, I guess thing, that Dragon Ball stuff in Fortnite is up there as one of my favorite video game anything of the year. Like,
Dude,
it's
yeah,
just so
okay.
great. It's so silly and dumb, but it was amazing. I wish
I
it
play
was-
Fortnite almost every day. That Dragon Ball thing is the first time I ever spent money on it, which like I hate it because I don't want to give AJ Moser money, but like I had to get it. And I do regret, I wish I would have bought the Bulma skin instead of the Goku skin, but I did still do it. And it was awesome. And now I play as Goku.
I'm mad that I got in too late where I didn't get any skins. So
I think, like, I hate speculating on a game I think might be in my top 10 before it's out. So, you know, good chance this also could not happen. But I think there is certainly a universe where one of the worst games of the year is on my top 10. And that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for the multiplayer, which is out now as soon as work is over. That's all I'm doing this weekend. Think there's a good chance that might land in
yeah,
my
we
top
gotta-
10 somewhere.
we gotta plan. We gotta play that this weekend.
That's all I'm doing this weekend. That's it. Like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm sorry if you don't hear from me this weekend. Like, I'm just playing Call of Duty multiplayer.
Don't call the police. Don't do like a a search, a wellness.
To be
search.
clear-
I'll just be playing Call of Duty.
To be clear, there are some really bad Call of Duty campaigns, and Modern Warfare 2's campaign is one of the worst in that series history. It's unbelievable how bad
I
it
need to
is.
play it. I've had the game for a week, but I was busy with Bayonetta and other stuff. But I just hearing you and everyone
Dude.
racking on it, it's like I'm so morbidly curious. I need to play it to see what's.
Okay, so like, Call of Duty is a horrible series narratively for the most part. Like, people will argue like, oh, Modern Warfare, the original and the sequel and some of the Black Ops, they had interesting things to say. Sure, I guess. They were also sponsored by the United States military. Like, this game is like equally as disturbing and gross and evil as all those games are narratively, but it doesn't even have the grace to be a fun Call of Duty game during that. It's boring, it's bland, it is mechanically uninteresting and clumsy. Like, all the things you think would be fun about a Call of Duty game is not in this game at all. It's astounding that they have matched the narrative and mechanics in just baseline bad, you know? Wild to me. Because usually it's like it's a narratively terrible game with a mechanically really good game, and now they are just 50-50
Yeah,
bad.
like they got fun set pieces and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps you forget about all the ways in which the Call of Duty game is doing horribly irrevocable damage to the world. Because the guns feel good. And here's the thing, I can get on my soapbox all day. I'm gonna play that multiplayer all weekend, baby. I can't wait.
Warzone next month, right? Warzone?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Here's the thing, I'm a little freak for it. I hate myself, but can't keep me off that. Can't keep me off it.
At least Kitty's landed on her feet.
Yeah, it's real bad. Really bad.
Man, I'm so excited to I might play some of it. I'm gonna play the multiplayer for sure. I'll probably check out at least maybe the first hour or two of the campaign and see how it shakes out.
Terrible. I saw Ed Smith. Polygon just ran their review. Ed Smith wrote it, and I haven't read the whole thing, but man, it opens with a bang. Nick Capizzoli tweeted a screen cap at the end too, and it ends with a bang. Like, that review is gonna be great. We have Reed McCarter writing our review right now. Can't wait to read that.
Do we know when that's
Can't
going
wait to
up?
read that.
When we can
No,
people can expect to read it?
no.
Okay.
No, because we're reviewing all of it at once rather than like some outlets will do like campaign, multiplayer reviews. We're doing it all. So Reed has just been able to play the multiplayer as of today.
Gotcha.
So probably be a few days. But next week, I'd guess sometime next week, maybe our review will go up. We'll see. Reed is one of the best critics in the space as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very excited we locked him in to write that review. What was I gonna say?
You gotta look at this Rhino guy. Do you have a favorite enemy in this game, Blake? Was there anyone that you thought was particularly pretty cool? Like of the humongous that you're like, this guy. Or this
Nah, they're all the same to me. It doesn't matter. Do you?
They all go down. I usually like smaller enemies in games. Like usually big ones I'm like indifferent to, but if they're like close to my size, I think they're more fun. I like the it's weird because I don't know any of their names, but they're kind of the more advanced forms of the basic grunt guys that have like the long spears that you can't interrupt their attacks. Like you have to dodge.
Yeah.
So they kind of train you to watch them and not just
I like the guy.
The who?
I like the guy with the big belly that he drops down and can suck you up with. I think that's a cool character.
Oh yeah.
You fight him a ton in this.
I think I killed probably like 5 of them already. I think.
Yeah. He's a very common enemy. I really like them. They also give you a lot of witch time when you dodge their attacks. So I like them for that too. Marcus, you want to go a few, like 10, 15, 20 minutes over since we had that rough start?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Looks
You're
like it's gonna
stuck
be
with us, viewers.
Look at that thing.
Don't say that about Bayonetta.
Yeah, anyone in chat, has anyone played this yet, or is anyone planning to play it? What's the general excitement level for Bayonetta 3? 'Cause I know all the hardcore fans have been counting down these seconds until this game is dropped.
Like me.
And there have been some, again, we're not
Quite a conversion.
spoiling, we're not talking about anything specific for the story, but there are some things that happened that I kept thinking like, oh, this is gonna cause this is gonna get people talking.
Well, there's been plenty of discourse around Bayonetta already.
This is the good kind of Discord. It's like, hey, this is about the game.
No. I meant that. I didn't mean the voice actor stuff.
Oh.
Like, there's been some stuff around the game's story, kind of being talked about negatively. I don't necessarily feel like I'm in a place to offer any opinions one way or the other, but people have definitely been rubbed the wrong way by some of the themes of the story.
Yeah, I've read a few reviews, and yeah, I've seen some. But yeah, I'm in the same place of like, yeah, that's a different viewpoint that I wouldn't be able to come with, or I don't come to the game for that, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, this
Impressive
road is
artistry from the killing machine.
Bride Lightning, where do you rent games? Like GameFly? Yeah, Bride Lightning saying, I'll rent Bayo 3 and try to blast through it. Oh, well, Redbox wouldn't do Switch rentals, would they?
Why wouldn't
Where's
they?
from?
Wait, really?
I don't know. I've just never seen Switch games.
I've never rented from Redbox. I was like, is that not a thing? They don't have Nintendo games?
I love Redbox.
I've never used it.
Oh man, they're great. I used to use them all the time a couple of years ago. That's how I played the first Modern Warfare, the campaign originally. I just rented it from a Redbox and blasted through it in a day.
Is it weirder that I've used GameFly but not
Yes.
Redbox?
Yes.
You know what? Fun fact. I played God of War 2018 through GameFly. I rented it as soon as it came out and ran through it.
Dude, my friend and former intern, Michael Larry, is an avid user of GameFly. Like, plays most of his games that way.
It works. It's like I tried it because I got a free trial and I was like, this thing's been around for years. I wonder if it actually works. And I was like, financially, I was like, I don't know if I can afford to buy all these games right now, so this is like a good alternative. And yeah, I was pretty satisfied with it. I only stopped because my free trial thing or whatever I had ended, but yeah, I got a few games out of it.
Huh. I've never used any of those. Oh, Fried Lightning. Traditional sub 20-hour one-player game experience. GameFly. Yeah, I guess they're
Yeah, you don't want to rent Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, it's going to take a while. Yeah, shout out to GameFly for still being around. 'Cause even in 2018 when I used it, I was shocked that it was still a thing.
Shout out to GameFly, dude.
See, the person that's in chat that said you were renting it, I was going to ask, are you a time traveler? Is that... yeah, I'm just going to go to the local Blockbuster, pick up Bayonetta 3, maybe get the snacks that they used to sell, the movie snacks that you could buy. Oh boy, which way do I go? Oh yeah, this way. Also, it's weird to say I miss Blockbuster because I know if there was one open to me, I would never go there because I just don't rent movies, but I miss the atmosphere of Blockbuster.
There is a movie rental place in Minneapolis called Video Universe I go to. It's awesome. I love it. It's really cool. They have an absurd catalog.
Is it space themed?
Nope.
You walk in, it looks like the universe?
Nope. It's just out in suburban Minneapolis and a strip mall, and you walk in there and they have anything you've ever wanted to watch, no matter how niche or underground, this place probably has it. It's awesome. So shout out to Video Universe, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Love them. They're sponsoring the show. Use the offer code Blake said so at checkout.
Do you think we could say that a defunct business is sponsoring the show and because since they're out of business, we can't get sued if I put a Blockbuster logo
I
in the
used
corner?
to. No, I'd actually avoid that. I used to do a fake sponsorship on Game Query, and it's haunted me ever since. I really do not recommend.
Wait, what did you
pretending?
Can you talk about this? Who did you?
Absolutely not. I literally cannot. I'm not sure I'll even tell you off mic.
Oh my god.
It was it still follows me. Not good.
Oh man.
Oh, Greyhound. Find a way out there. Get a friend to drive you to Video Universe. That place is great. It's great.
Now's your chance.
I like this fight a ton. Oh wait, never mind. The fight coming up. Because you know what happens is you crash through Platinum's office.
Oh, I can't change through. Wait, what?
This is the Umeda Sky Building, which is actually in Osaka, but they've moved it here for the sake of the game. Or is this? Okay, so the Umeda Sky Building is in it, and it's where you have one fights against the stained glass wolf.
Right.
And you fight that through Platinum's office.
Oh, really?
That office building you crash through. I think this is it. Maybe it's
the one I just went through with the spider. I just did it. Is that what you're talking about?
Were you fighting the wolf guy?
No, oh, no. You just ride through
No,
it.
so I think that's coming up.
Okay.
That's...
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen Platinum's office.
I think
that went over my head.
I think it's... Well, their office is in one of Osaka's most famous buildings architecturally.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it. It's a real building, and you'll be like, that looks crazy. It's not in Tokyo, which is where we are right now. I think it's right after this fight. I think the verse ends and you maybe start the next chapter.
Is this it? Yep.
Okay, then yeah. This is the Made of Sky building. Which we were not allowed to talk about. That was one of the things in the embargo. They're like, do not mention the Made of Sky building. It's like, it's a real building. So I guess I couldn't be like, developed in Osaka, Japan, and the Made of Sky building.
There are so many things that we couldn't talk about that it's like...
Yeah, the embargo was egregious.
It was... And it wasn't even like consistent. It wasn't like something like, okay, we can't talk about the first few. It's like, you can talk about this one, and then, but the next thing you can't talk about, but then the next two you can't talk about. And it was like this weird sort of like checkerboard of like,
It was bad.
It was just like,
honestly.
I didn't envy writing a review trying to make sure you didn't step on something accidentally, basically.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know if I did. Like, it was so strict and so long that it's like maybe a sentence somewhere in there went against their ridiculous rules.
Oh no, my weapons are locked right now.
Quite human.
Okay, yeah, so end this fight.
This wolf guy, he's pretty tough. He's got like your progress report every time he shows up, like how much have you mastered the game.
Raider, I know you have the tapes. Be cool, man. Be cool.
Tell your friends about me. This game is so good. Just gonna reiterate that. Viola stuff aside, as well as the Jean stuff, I'm also not super big on. Like, I think it's fine, but I don't need it in the game. This game is so much fun. We're gonna punish this thing. Wait, what's this? Okay. The analog ones always get me, where I'm like, wait, do they want me to turn it or shake it?
Okay, here we go.
This is the part?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can see Hideki Kamiya peeking out one of the windows at some point. Like, what's all the ruckus out there? I'm gonna block you.
Nah, he deleted his Twitter by now.
Because of this fight happened. It crashed.
And the timeline. Because of a fight happening.
A different kind, yeah. There was no witch time being triggered in that fight. So it did feel like time stood still at times. Look at that dodge. Look at that. This guy, he's bamboozled. It's like, how can I be so fast? Nope, dodge. Finish it, we're down. Show off my spider!
Get him! Oh. Okay, here we go.
Can we see Astral Chain 2 being made?
No, but there's like a cardboard cutout of a character, and you can see their logo somewhere.
Wait, is this where the... Oh, I don't want to say in case it's not, but...
What, Lappy?
Well, yeah, but like,
No,
there's a cinematic thing with... It's not... I don't remember if
no.
it's this or later. Oh, wait, yes, it is.
No.
There's Lappy right there.
Oh, okay. Well, Lappy's also in the...
He's in the city. But this part, I remember, because you see him already before this, in the town. But... Yeah,
Anyway,
I was like, it'd be a fun way to, like, actually tease Astral Chain 2 if they're actually working on that, if they just put that in the game.
Oh, there was the Platinum logo.
Okay. There we go. Also, Astral Chain 2, please.
Here you go, folks. Here's a studio tour. Platinum Games.
Seems like
Yeah.
you're ready
This is
for
what
the
happens when you go there. You have to get into a big fight.
Now, why don't you sit for mummy?
Oh, snap.
Perhaps I shouldn't have rubbed his nose in it.
I will also say, you know, I know we're not talking about the voice actor stuff, but I was totally happy with Jennifer Hale's performance. I think she was totally fantastic in the role. Just gonna point that out. I think she was great. All right. Do you think we have time for at least the start? One more?
Yeah. Got like 15
Actually,
minutes.
we might hit her first I was like, oh no, we won't. We're like one away from the first Viola chapter.
I mean, I got nowhere to be if you want to just do an extended thing, but if we're sticking to like 2 hours, we only talked about doing like 20 minutes over.
Yeah.
But you know, viewer steady, got good engagement. You know, maybe. I tell you what, if we hit a hype train, me and Marcus will go till 5, 6 if you're
Well, I
in
mean, I
Eastern
was gonna
time.
say it's already 5.
You know, so
The
get a hype train
has-
going.
The hype train's already arrived. For me, I guess.
Let's go. Come on, folks. You want us to keep streaming?
Where has the
Get a hype train going. I don't know what a hype train is. I don't know how you make one happen, but Changlini saying improve replay. What?
We need to fix replays.
It's about time
It's
I
broken.
got moving.
Crater dropped 25 triangles. I don't know what that means.
Trying. Please give us. We need more triangles. Support the channel with more triangles, please.
Can you slowly lower a donut from the ceiling with every sub? Leo Vader brought cookies to my house yesterday. I can
What
bake
kind?
some cookies. They're like pumpkin cookies. They're really good.
That
They're
sounds
really good. I don't know if he meant to leave them here or if that was an accident, but he did leave them here, and now I'm gonna eat them.
I don't think you accidentally leave cookies. I see
Right,
no-
yeah.
Did he make them?
No. They're bought.
Okay. That's even nicer. Maybe baked for you.
Crater saying it means GI earned about 12 cents. There we go. And that's going right into my paycheck.
Now you can afford Christmas this year.
Marcus, here's the thing. I don't think we're getting a hype train.
The hype train is not coming to the station.
Yeah, we can. It looks like. Oh wait, Changlini dropped 510 purple diamonds. What are those called?
Are they bits?
Bits. Thank you, Changlini. Thank you. We've also lost 5 viewers.
While talking about triangles?
It's about time I got moving again.
Oh look, y'all, you got 12 minutes. We either end in 12 minutes or we keep going 40 minutes after that.
Don't
You know,
promise that.
I said what I said.
I got another frog. I mean, I technically don't need it because I've already found all the animals in this level. But it's around here. You can hear that croaking. Oh no. So here's the area that I visited in Japan. I showed you the pictures, Blake, but Taito, I went here on one of my off days, took a tour of it with a friend, and it was cool. So when I came here in the game, I was like, hey, I was just here. There was a lot less fire and destruction, but same place. And here's our boy Luca. That rascal. Yeah, swagger.
Do you believe in fate?
Luca?
Fate brought us here together, and it will never tear us apart.
Yep. That's what I say when I meet every new person.
practice.
Man, these guys have been a huge pain in the
Reagan!
ass. Hey, how about you take care of them for me? Appreciate it.
Reagan,
Cerecita.
tell him what you think.
Wait!
Yeah, I know, but
His motto
yeah, I
is still
know.
act first, think later.
Oh, see you, Reagan.
Nice Reagan cameo.
I'll be right back.
Gotcha. I'll just mess these guys up.
Do it.
I wanted one of those cookies.
Can you hold it up to the camera? What's it look?
Pumpkin spice
Oh, they're
cookies.
cream fill. You didn't say that. You said it was a sandwich cookie.
Thank you, Leo Vader.
I hope you brought enough for the class.
Nope.
Just gonna eat cookies in front of everybody, not offer any.
Only
Yeah,
the Luca
shove
I
it.
know would be bold enough to call me Cerecita. Must have
Pop
been
shove
feeling
it?
Fool then too. What in the world
right.
is he doing
Yeah.
here?
It's a skateboard move for people that aren't cool like us. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Casually strut.
Oh, be right back.
Gotcha. It's getting more cookies. Oh. Okay. So yeah, we'll go another what, like, five-ish minutes or so.
Needed some water.
Not milk.
No. You know, less sugar, dehydrate you. Can't be having that. Good old H2O, you know? 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. Keep you going.
That is the formula. Look at this guy.
That's it.
How much does this fellow weigh? Or dot of the preference, guys. Go beat this guy up. So this will probably be the last big fight for this stream.
Yeah, then I'm clocking out. I'm tired.
You're gonna go get more cookies.
I do gotta walk to Trader Joe's and get dinner.
Ooh, what's for dinner at Trader Joe's?
I don't know.
We don't have
Oh.
really Trader Joe's here in Florida. I've been to them, but we don't really have it.
First time I ever went to Trader Joe's was within the last like 2 months when I moved here. There's one half a mile up the road. Never been before.
Yeah, it seems like a Midwest or just West Coast thing.
Dude.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen one on the East Coast. There probably exists, but I feel like all the ones
They
I've been to-
definitely exist on the East Coast. It's so nice because the food is like really good, like Whole Foods quality, but the price is obscenely cheap. It's amazing. It's so good.
The last
Thank you,
time
Holly. Thank you.
Last time I went to them was when I was in, actually, funny enough, when I was in Seattle for the Bayonetta 3 cover story. There was a Trader Joe's within walking distance of my hotel, so I went there and got some ice cream that was very good.
They have these fall-themed quesadillas up there right now. Might go get some of those. They're
All
good.
themed cases. It's just got pumpkin inside and squash.
It's got like cranberries, I think, in it.
In a case?
There's something there's something sweet in them, and it's really good. It's really good.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'd try it.
Crater has a good point. It's literally Aldi's with better food.
It's like a Thanksgiving quesadilla. It's got turkey and cranberries and gravy, and then it's just.
Well, I think it's
two
I think
tortillas.
it's chicken, but they're pretty good. I mean, they come pre-made, and then you have to cook them yourselves.
Right.
So I think like Friday night, just want to play Call of Duty. Don't really want to cook a whole thing. Like that's an easy thing to put on skillet.
Yeah. I mean, playing
Cook
Call
it
of
up.
Duty, you ain't got time to be cooking.
Exactly.
At least not in
brother.
real life. We need to cook players. Am I
That's
right?
right. Well, I'm gonna be cooking the grenades, so when I throw them, they instantly blow up on them.
That's right. Wait, can you cook grenades in Call of Duty? I forget. I always associate that with Halo.
Yes, you can cook grenades in Call of Duty.
I don't. Okay, I'm sorry.
Look, sorry, I'm a pro player. My KD ratio, my Kevin Durant ratio, out of control.
Yeah. And yeah, I think we'll call it a stream there with the destruction of that guy. But yeah, this is Bayonetta 3.
Bayo 3, baby.
Yeah, it only gets better from here. Take it from us. So, you know, have fun if you're playing it, or if you're planning to pick it up, I guess, at some point in the future. But otherwise, have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to our new subs. Hope to see you in the GI Discord, which is what your subscription gets you access to. And if you want to rewatch this stream later, or if, you know, in general, watch all our past streams, we have our Game Informer shows YouTube channel now, which is where all the VODs are going to be for the foreseeable future as I turn into a little girl and get shot in the face. I kind of stumbled into that puzzle. But yeah. So yeah, you'll see the archive for this up there tomorrow. We're going to try to get them at least the next day up going forward. But thanks, Blake, for hanging out. Happy Friday, everyone. We'll see you next week. Adios.